But Dooku had grown tired of this constant cycle of wins and losses, and wanted to put his general on notice. When Nute Gunray escaped from Republic custody, the Republic hoped to track him through a device planted on the Neimoidian, and the Jedi followed this signal to the third moon of Vasek in the Outer Rim. Kit Fisto was excited to see his once Padawan, Nadar, who was another example of that rush to produce more knights due to this threat from Grievous.
Congratulations on passing the trials. I'm sorry the war prevented me from seeing your training through to the end.
You were missed, Master, but it is an honor to finally serve beside you as a knight.
When they enter the enormous castle structure, they walk through the dark halls and we see that this rush caused by Grievous had hurt the quality of knights, endangering everyone.
I didn't forget to teach you restraint, did I, my old Padawan?
I'm sorry, Master. I got carried away.
The signal leads them to a room where they find a hologram of Gunray and then Dooku, explaining that they knew about the tracker, that this was a trap. As they explored more, they find that this is Grievous's personal castle, with statues that acted as reminders of his former life, the noble Kaleesh warrior, but also statues that were themselves showing the replacement of limbs. They also discover an entire room dedicated to his Jedi trophies, lightsabers and Padawan braids among the collection built up over the years.
There is concern you have lost your focus. Lord Sidious demands more dramatic results.
You expect victory over Jedi, but all you give me to fight them is battle droids!
The general was again being tested, just another way that his Sith masters knew how to manipulate this proud warrior. As soon as he makes his way inside of his home, Grievous is ambushed by the Jedi and clones. Springing into action with his 4 limbs, each bearing a blade, he is able to keep the Jedi engaged, while his mechanical body fights off the pull from the troops' grapple hooks. The Jedi would be able to slice off his legs, but he shows the mastery of his metal form and slips out of their control, clinging to the ceiling and outmaneuvering the clones to eliminate some more of them before making his escape. Once in his command center, he summons his A4 droid assistant and notices that his Magna Guards are not active.
What happened to my bodyguards?
They were remotely deactivated for recharge. I thought you did it.
He realizes that Dooku had set him up to be ambushed, being fine with this general getting killed off, or pleasantly surprised if he did kill this Jedi Master. But Kit Fisto realized that without this element of surprise, they would be at the disadvantage fighting in Grievous's castle. They try to escape, but the reactivated IG-100s destroy the Republic shuttle with a rocket, though Fisto's Jedi Starfighter is able to get away. Back in the castle, we get an insight into what his longtime droid assistant thought of the cyborg body. And we see how Grievous had rationalized everything. Remember, his brain had been altered by Sith powers and surgery.
Sometimes I wonder why you submitted to the changes.
Improvements! I submit to no one! I chose them!
The castle contained hundreds of replacement parts for every aspect of his cyborg body, and after a new pair of legs and mask were attached, he was restrained to the chair for a short time while the nervous system and wiring synced up. All while Grievous's pet Gore, a massive Rogwart, was trying to defend its home, his pet also being a bit of a cyborg with its own enhancements. The Jedi were able to work to kill it, but the new knight is filled with rage at seeing his clone friends dead. Then Grievous gets a call from his master.
Your recent defeats at their hands have shaken my faith in your ability to lead the droid army.
You deactivated my guards! You let the Jedi in here! So you would test me!
Again, Grievous cuts off this call from his superior, but does angrily vow to pass this test. The Jedi are still trying to find their way out, and Nadar is slicing through the elite droid units. Intoxicated by the success of these few skirmishes, and full of rage at his clone losses, the knight engages the general. Grievous looks the Mon Calamari in his eyes as he mused on the weakness of the flesh, using his abundance of limbs to keep the Jedi saber locked, and pull a blaster out to fire into the knight's chest, adding one more saber to the collection, and turning to issue a threat to Fisto, who could see the whole thing from the command center. The Jedi Master would slice the computers, and since everyone else was dead, he summons his Delta 7 to make his escape, though Grievous was eager to get another kill. Grievous would overwhelm Fisto for some time, but eventually the Nautolan would sever the hand containing his Padawan's blade.
You might have been a proud warrior once, but now you're just a pawn in Dooku's game.
I wield great power, Jedi fool!
The dual-bladed attacks start to overwhelm Grievous, and he isn't concerned with a fair fight, stepping back to allow the IG-100s to engage. This time, Grievous would be the one to watch as his target fled combat, with Fisto leaping onto his starfighter. Grievous would return to his command center to try and pass off this trial as a victory, but Dooku makes sure to keep the pawn in his place.
The Jedi have been defeated.
Victory over the clones and the young Jedi was expected. But to best a Jedi Master, this is truly an accomplishment worthy of recognition. So there is room for improvement.
Though Grievous was fuming at the thought of this shortcoming, on Coruscant we see that the Jedi are shaken to their core with how this one enemy was infecting their order, as Fisto explains how he saw his Padawan changed by it, his rage towards Grievous being exactly what gave the cyborg the advantage.
In this war, a danger there is of losing who we are.